Good morning. I'm in a bush. It's been fine. Oh, what a beautiful view to wake up to. And I'm just in a park, not bothering anybody. Yeah, my wet trousers. Well, that's a bit obvious, isn't it? Needn't have bothered with the camo sleeping bag. And then hid my stuff in the dark. You couldn't see that at all. That's under a bush over there. And there's actually like much more bushy bits over here. And some trash. Maybe I'll pick that up. But you don't want to go all the way back there because that's where dogs sneak off and poo. So don't do that. But I first learned about this kind of method from Richard the piano tuner, who I believe figured it out himself, which is basically what he figured out is that you can lie in a bivvy bag. Most places, all weathers, it's not even a bivvy bag actually, it's a waterproof sleeping bag. And you don't really need a tent, and it makes you much more discreet for urban wild camping. And he did that for a year in London, and told me all about it and showed me all about it. And also had a blog, so you see, like, I've just got this sleeping bag and this bivvy bag, and that's it. You wanted to see it? There's my camp. I sort of thought I'd make a record of this idea for thinking about the wild camping movement at the moment, and of course I don't think I've got the right to be here. I'm in a public park, but I'm not hurting anyone. There's my stuff, which, yeah, there we go. You've seen this all, but you're just seeing it all from kind of stood up. So in a way I'm pretty obvious because there's the trousers, but let's see, if I walk out into the park, what can you see of me? There we go, walking out into the park, there's the path. A nice little other bit I could have chosen, but it was a bit close to the path for me. Yeah, okay, so you can see me, but you might just think someone's left something on a tree. You probably wouldn't really think about it. It's been a real success learning about this way of sleeping. I met Richard in 2012, which was the year of my challenge to I was doing a challenge to have a bike with one gear and use that as my only mode of transport for a year. That's my pillow, that's my sleeping bag. I had my jacket in there too because it was a bit colder last night. 13 degrees, which is a bit too cold really to be sleeping on the floor without a sleeping mat, but I did do that. Richard did use an inflatable sleeping mat, and I've got one. I just really don't like them. I don't like unrolling them, blowing them up, or lying on them. But I kind of probably should get just a foam sleeping mat because it was just too cold. Yeah, so that was it. That was my experience. It was really very good. One of the reasons that I like to kind of document some of this stuff in video form is literally because I wouldn't be doing it now if I hadn't met Richard, who did this, like I said, for a whole year in London with this sleep system, and read his entire blog, because he wrote about where he slept every single night. And it helped me to understand that it was safe, that it was a positive experience. And I was a bit scared last night because I didn't know if I had real faith in my ability and instinct to pick a good safe sleeping spot in the dark in a place I'd never been before. Just got off the ferry in the dark from France, where I've been for the last week. Also wild camping, but camping next to my friend's van, so very safe. But yeah, I think if I hadn't kind of known of his experience, then I wouldn't kind of know that it's safe to do this, and it's a beautiful thing to do. So I wanted to show you in case you felt like doing it. And also, what was the other point? Oh yeah, but yeah, I think probably just to say, I don't think I could guarantee a good night's sleep doing this. So there's sometimes that I wouldn't do this every time. There's good times to stay with friends or pay to stay somewhere, because you never know if you're going to get woken up by a dog at 5 a.m. You don't know if you're going to get the temperature right, and kind of like when I was living in a van, I got really good at sleeping in a van and I always slept well. But now that I live in a flat, if I go and sleep in my van for a couple of nights, I might not sleep so well. I might not be used to the noises. I might get woken up. I might choose the wrong thickness of blanket, and the same's kind of true out here. Yes, sleeping this way. Yeah, like I said, I could have done with a sleeping mat, so I did get my temperature slightly wrong, and I do feel okay. But if I'd been any colder, I might not have slept well enough to work today. And as it turns out, I don't have to work today, but I could do some of my digital work, and I would feel fine to do that. So yeah, it's good to know these things and to be able to integrate experiences of sleeping out in the wild into like normal life, rather than as part of a kind of special intrepid trip somewhere, but just in a park, in a town. I hope you find this useful, as I did with Richard's blog.